group's presentation. We have chosen to do the first option from our theory and practice assignment. The first concept that I will be introducing you to is the holistic marketing overview. This concept is based on the development, design, and implementation of marketing programs, processes, and activities that recognize their breadth and interdependencies. This concept also understands that all departments play a critical role in the marketing of the organization. If one part of the organization fails to deliver, then it risks jeopardizing the efforts of the marketing department. It also understands that every aspect of the organization must play its role in the process and activities of marketing. Holistic marketing overview centers on 4 broad components that characterize the holistic marketing concept. The first is relationship marketing, which aims to build mutually satisfying long-term relationships with key constituents in order to earn business. Integrated marketing focuses on when a marketer devises marketing activities and assembles marketing programs to create, communicate, and deliver value to consumers. Internal marketing is the task of hiring, training, and motivating able employees who want to best serve their customers. And the last is social responsible marketing. This focuses on the efforts on attracting consumers who want to make a positive difference with their purchases. And it's around the concept that you want to provide the best product for the best interest of society.
My name is Hannah Ahmad. I'm going to be discussing the theory construction methodology. In mathematics and science, theories are the basis of concept. The choice of whether to conform to a theory or not depends on the way the theory is structured and how convincing the theory can be interpreted. There are several theories that are developed, and every day new ones are shared. A theory construction model is a procedural approach to the formulation of the theories. There are 5 expected stages that the construction takes, and these stages should be followed step by step for the theory to be formed in an acceptable way. The first stage is to identify relevant phenomena. The second stage is to formulate proto-theory. Third stage is to develop formal model. Fourth stage is to check the adequacy of the formal model. And the last stage is to evaluate the overall worth of the constructed model. The article theory and practices finding may lead to future research on the possibility of a model theory to accommodate the idea that cannot be mathematically confirmed but are sensible lines of thought. The theories should capture this line of thought and create an environment that motivates theorists to develop theories and have them discussed and evaluated. Theories that fail to meet standards should not be dismissed if there is a potential fact in them. Instead, they should be studied further and developed into strong cases.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jeremy Buckner, and I'm going to discuss the value co-creation and co-destruction within the context of the healthcare industry. Now, I'm not going to summarize the article because I trust that everyone's read it, but it discusses value co-creation with patients and providers. Now, the weakness that I found is that cultural context is just kind of a footnote. It's just touched upon briefly, but this article takes place within, or the study, I should say, is entirely within the context of the UK. Now, I found this issue various times throughout the MBA program, is that cultural context is that of a footnote, but it's really important when examining the impacts and outcomes of value co-creation and co-destruction. Specifically, we're going to look at power distance, and how those affect engagement with dialogue and democracy with dialogue. There's a study done in Japan that analyzes patients and providers relationships, which Japan, of course, is a higher power distance culture. Now, what this can look like is limited dialogue because patients put providers kind of on this high level of esteem. Now, in practice, your provider in a high power distance culture may be discussing a diagnosis or a suggestion or recommendation about your health. And you may not be on the same level. You might not understand what they're saying completely. You might not agree with the diagnosis, but they're moving that conversation along without you. So that's going to be the value co-destruction that could result from a high power distance culture. Now, on the contrary, in a low power distance culture, such as the United States, patients are more likely to engage with their providers. You're more likely to see dialogue. You're more likely to see the democracy of dialogue. You might ask more questions. You might disagree with a certain recommendation. But either way, there's just more dialogue, which can really help that value co-creation because providers better understand what you need and as a patient, and patients better understand what providers are suggesting or issuing. So, you know, that cultural context is important, which kind of leads to our next point, which is our new research question proposed. How does one's cultural values surrounding healthcare differ from another? Does one culture value high esteem and status when choosing a provider? If so, that culture may have patients who invest in the relationship with their providers a little more, which can, of course, stimulate value co-creation. Or does the culture value limiting cost and maximizing efficiency? So your visit might be shorter and your visits may be more infrequent. So value co-creation can't exist as easily because those relationships aren't being built. So this topic is wide-ranging. I encourage everyone to do their research, but the biggest takeaway is that cultural context matters when analyzing value co-creation and co-destruction. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kafayat Shiaba. The concept of value co-creation theory is based on co-production and value in use. You are essentially building products or providing services for a customer while he or she is having an input. In modern economy, this theory is impractical for use for many products. There are few instances where there is practical, customized homes and customized vehicles. Therefore, the basis of the value co-creation is flawed for any economy or business successes. The only area where this concept has been successful is with the Department of Defense Weapon Acquisition. This concept is best described as cradle to grave. When the military requests for a particular weapon system, the military follow through with the design, development, testing, fielding, and retirement of the equipment alongside the manufacturer. The proposed research question for this concept of value co-creation theory is, what new products do we need research for? Well, an example for a new product that can be utilized, that can utilize the VVC model is the development of the COVID-19 vaccine. Many people are ready to help the pharmaceutical company develop a vaccine. Human bodies are used for customization of the drug until the end of the trial period. Therefore, a few customizations are followed for others that have negative reaction to the vaccine. That then lead us to how to improve the value co-creation concept. The improvement for this theory is to ask, at what phase of production should customization take place? The answer rests with customers and the product. For example, is when you buy a new car and you can customize for colors, engine, transmission, interior, etc. Or when you are customizing a new development and you get to choose layout of the home. There are few instances where this is practical. Customized homes and customized vehicles. Therefore, the basis of the value co-creation is flawed for any economic or business success. Outside these few instances and improvements, VVC concept cannot be generalized for profitability. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shayla Evans Hollingsworth, and I will be discussing the article Nudging with Care, the Risk and Benefits of Social Information. The article Nudging with Care, the Risk and Benefits of Social Information talks about how nudging is powerful in a way that it can be very effective or not effective at all, especially when it comes to social information and the way it changes our behavior. The article presents several experiments where it shows social nudging backfiring and how to avoid those outcomes. So what is nudging? Based on the article, nudging is a popular behavioral approach that was built on the assumption that people can make poor decisions, but with mild persuading or nudging, it can lead a person to make good decisions. Social nudging is very common, and in the end, it usually works better. If you are told what others are doing and you might not know what to do in a situation, you will go with what others around you are doing because you think it's a good idea. Most people don't want to stray from what they think would violate the normal social norm. The concept social norm is commonly used in many disciplines to include economics, sociology, psychology, and philosophy. There are several points to consider when it comes to behavioral social norms. Norms are portrayed as part of a group and not by an individual. Different individuals will have different beliefs about the percentage of actual followers. If they think that a high percentage of followers are doing something, then they will feel that it is the right thing to do. Social norms are socially conditional, meaning that preference for obeying them depends on expectations of collective compliance. Individuals have different sensitivities to what a specific norm stands for. So if a norm has existed for a very long time, it is socially important to an individual, and sensitivities may be high for that norm. Beliefs and preferences have to be measured in order to decide whether a norm exists in a specific environment and what will determine high and low compliance. So there are 4 types of behaviors. You have independent, interdependent, empirical, and normative. Independent behaviors occur when they are entirely determined by economic or natural reasons, or unconditional. Interdependent behaviors occur when people's actions and opinions matter to that person. Empirical are beliefs that are factual on how other people are going to act or react in a certain situation. Normative are beliefs about other people's personal normative beliefs. So how individuals relate to certain patterns of behaviors determines the pattern's nature. Diagnosing collective patterns of behavior into 4 types of behavior will decide what type of intervention is the best chance of success. So how can social media amplify the spread of behaviors that are both beneficial and harmful? This is the proposed new research question that I had after reading this article. Social media has become popular in a way that the majority of information being delivered is delivered through some type of social media channel. So information spreads instantaneously. Because of how fast this information is being shared, many people will feel that the information is how the majority feels, and the information could be harmful. But by using the science of perceived social norms, such as empirical behaviors, a shift in social norms would occur. Correcting misperceptions on social media platforms would reinforce positive norms. Also, providing accurate information to everyone and not to a certain group would shift social norms. These are just a few items or a few ways that would be beneficial and harmful when social media is used as a way of channeling social norms. Thank you.